All right, so we're going over 8.1, and we're talking about first the diameter of the circle and the radius of the circle. I'm grateful to 7th period for being nice and quiet so they can see this, because a lot of the kids didn't get a chance to see all the lessons. So we're going to be doing page 170 in the workbook, some of the problems. We're going to be doing page 174, 178, and 182, just as an overview. First off, find the diameter of a circle. Well, the diameter is all the way across. This is halfway across, so this is the radius. So if the radius is 9, then the diameter is going to be twice that. 18 inches. Number 2, find the radius of the circle. So they gave us the diameter all the way across. So we're going to take that, divide it by 2. So the radius will be 6. Now, there's a song called The Circle Rap. It goes like this. The circle rap, 'cause you cared. Area of a circle equals pi r squared. Circumference has 2 ways to go. 2 pi r or pi d, you know. So let's write circumference right here. These are the 2 ways. Pi times diameter or 2 pi r. So the song said 2 pi r or pi d. And circumference is the distance all the way around a circle. It's like the perimeter of a circle. So this first question that we're going to do is number 3, and it asks for the diameter being 20. So the formula that we're going to use is C equals pi times the diameter. And they tell you here you're going to use 3.14, or you can use the fraction 22 over 7. I prefer the 3.14, and something that the students didn't know, but now I'm going to allow you to use calculators. From this point out, you're allowed to use a calculator. And there's a gasp from 7th period students. Once you know about a formula and you know what the different portions of the equation are, you may use a calculator as a very serviceable positive tool. But you also want to be in charge with your brain. So before you do any calculator work, you want to round off. Pi is rounded off to be 3.14, but we're going to round it to one significant digit to be just 3. And 3 times 20 is going to be 60. So we know that if we push the right calculator buttons and we get about 60, we're doing it really well. So, calculator ready. So I'm going to push 3.14 times 20. This way your parents all can see that I'm letting you use a calculator. And you get 62.8. Now, if your answer 62.8 just appears without any work, you get no credit. But as long as you have this much work, the formula, the substitution, the estimation, then you may use a calculator. This is centimeters, so it's just straight centimeters. That was number 3. Now we're going to jump, because you can do 4 and 5 on your own. We're going to jump to number 7. They're asking find the perimeter of the semicircle region. Okay, well the semicircle is the half. So it's the same exact formulas, C equals pi times diameter, but then you chop it in half, divided by 2. Or C equals 2 pi r divided by 2. Or if you prefer to multiply by 1/2, that's okay too. So this one's the diameter, so we're going to say C equals pi times diameter divided by 2. C equals 3.14 times 21 divided by 2. Now we're going to do our estimation skills. This is equal to, this is you thinking, that's your thinking cloud. 3 times 20, which is 60, and then divided by 2, which is 30. So if our answer is about 30, we know we did it right. So calculators again, 3.14 times 21 equals 65.94. You want to do this in 2 separate steps because your calculator might mess up your order of operations. You've got to really be in charge of that. So once you get that answer, then you're going to divide by 2. And you get 32.97, which is a little bit more than 30. We did it right. and it's feet, 32.97 feet. I'm going to show it a little bit better so that you can see it on the video. Okay, now turn to page 174. 174 is pretty fun. You're estimating the perimeter of the figure. So let's just count. So everybody in class, you're just going to go around the shape and just keep track. So for example, I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That covers these three sides. So far it's 12. Now, this is not exactly 1 unit. It's going diagonally, but I'm going to estimate it's about 1. 13, 14 for here and here, 15, 16. So if you got about 16 units, good job. Next, we're going to do number 3. For number 3, it's asking the perimeter, which we know is the distance around. So if I started here, this would be 7 plus 3, that's 10, plus 5, that's 15, plus 4 more, that's 19. But I still have one more side I didn't count. I can see from here that that's distance 7. So 19 plus 7 more is going to be 26. Now it's the distance around. It's got the unit m, so that's 26 meters. Number 4 is kind of similar, but hopefully you can see right here, this is half of a circle. This is the other half of the circle. So to figure out the area of a circle, the circumference of the circle, we're going to use pi times the diameter. We know the diameter. It's the distance all the way across here, so it's going to be 3.14 times 5. So that's about 15, because 3 times 5 is 15. $15.7. Yep, we know that's right. But we still have 2 more pieces. We have this side that's 8, and this side that's going to be the same size, so it's also 8. So 8 plus 8 is 16. I'm going to line up the decimals, add them with ease, 31.7 inches. Okay, that's all we're doing on page 174. Please jump to page 178. These are, by the way, all the lessons for chapter 8. It's 8.1 practice page, 8.2. Now we're doing 8.3. Page 178 in your workbook. Okay, so I sang the song before. The circle rap. It's pretty straightforward. It goes like this. The circle rap, 'cause you cared. Area of a circle equals pi r squared. Circumference has 2 ways to go. 2 pi r or pi d, you know. So the first part of that said area of a circle equals, say it out loud if you remember, area of a circle equals pi r squared. Pi r squared. Okay, that's okay. So pi r squared is what you're going to use for this entire page, pi r squared. So we're going to be doing problem number 2 right now. So first looking at it, do we even know the radius? Yes or no, class? No, we have to figure it out. So we have all the way across. We're going to divide this by 2. So 28 divided by 2 is going to equal 14. So the radius is 14. Now, I'm going to put my formula, area of a circle equals pi r squared. According to order of operations, I'm going to make sure that I take the 14 and square it first. So, if you don't know how your calculator works for squaring, you can always do it by hand. 14 times 14 is going to be 14 squared, 196. Substituting that in, 196. And now I'm going to substitute in 3.14 for pi. But before I do that, oops, I put 2 parentheses there. That's all right. Make it one giant parenthesis. So 3.14 times 196. So we're going to go back to our skill of estimation. we're going to round this off to be 3 times 200. So 3 times 200 is about 600. So if my answer is about 600, I know I'm doing something right. So here I go, 196. I didn't clear that from my calculator display. Don't clear it unless you know you're not using that number again, or you end up doing a whole bunch of extra work. Times 3.14 equals 615.44. That's about 600. I did it right. Now this is an area, so it's going to be inches squared. You're trying to see in your imagination how many little squares would fit inside this larger circle. Right, last thing, I want you to be creative. Turn to page 182. On page 182, you are going to be taking the shape and breaking it up. And you can do this in a lot of different ways. You can break it up in 20 different ways. For example, if you wanted to take this, you could chop it here and make one rectangle. Here, make another rectangle. There, make a third rectangle. Or you could chop it this way, make that longer rectangle. You have to look at what pieces you have. What do you know? But it's your choice. Next, let's take question number 1 and chop it up just a little bit. I'm not helping you on this page. There's only 5 questions. I want you to chop it up yourself. But I want you to look at question number 1 and decide how you're going to chop it up. You want to make sure, absolutely sure, that you know the right information. So one way that I might chop this up is in triangles, because I can see the height of the triangles. I may even decide to make it all triangles. And I could figure out what the area is of each. So if I were to look at this triangle, this is 2. And this is 4, so it'd be 2 times 4, which is 8, divided by 2, which is 4. So this has an area, this triangle has an area of 4. This is 2 by 2, which is 4, divided by 2, which is 2. This is 4 by 2, which is 8, divided by 2, which is 4. And this one is its twin, so this would also be 4. So I could add 4 plus 4, which is 8, plus 2, which is 10, plus 4, which is 14. So I would say that this equals 14 units squared. So you be as creative as you'd like to make sure that you figure out those areas of irregular figures. Thanks.